Hi, this is a quick step-by-step soldering video about Blueberry. As you can see, I'm using the 3U panel, but it will be exactly the same if you're using the 1U. First, before starting, make sure to check the build documentation on Plinky Blueberry. So the first thing is soldering the SMD headers you have here and here, but we're gonna start with this one, which is a small gray like that. You need to be careful because they need to be really perpendicular to the panel. So take your time, start with one pad solder, put the header on it and verify if it's have the right angle or not. If not, you can read the pad for have a better angle. So let's do that. Let's try this one. Not more. This is okay. And by reheat the pad, just put something like that. Once you do it, look here. It's not perfect. And here it's not perfect. As you can see, we can slightly not bend it, so you can reheat, simply reheat the things like that. And put it in a better way. Check a second time. All right, not too bad. Once it looks okay, my advice is put solder on the other corner pad. It will be easier. Have one more check, and if it's ready, do the other pad. All right. So let's see. It's not perfect. I will be happy to just slightly. All right, this is way better. So once you're satisfied, you can just put solder on each of the pad, like I will do. Once you finish, check closely one of the pad, each one of the pad. This one it's not so clean. I'm happy to just move the excess solder we have on, like that. All right. So you need to do the same thing here for these headers. As you can see, I'm already putting some solder on one of the pad. So it's easier to do it when the PCB is like that, though you can use a tool or something for keeping it in the position. So reheat the pad first. All right, like the first one, check the orientation, if it's good or not. As you can see, it's not perfect. We can push the header in this way, but you're not going to bend it. You're going to reheat the pad and have a better positioning. So once again, reheat slightly. All right, let's see if it's better. It's not too bad, but it's slightly up, so I will put it perhaps 1 or 2 millimeters. All right, this is way better. So check the orientation. It's not too bad. All right, so I will put solder on the opposite corner, and right after another verification, and if everything is okay, you just have to solder each of the patch one after the other. So let's check. All right, this is not too bad. So let's solder them one after the other, like that. All right, once you do that, check the solder on each pad. And if you have solder only on the upper pieces, just reheat and add a little bit of solder if necessary. Alright, so now let's put the hardware on this side. So you have 6 jacks and the headers. You do not solder it for now, just put it, and we're going to put them on a panel. So first, let's put the jacks. It can be a little tricky to do this step, so going slowly and take your time is a good way to do it. And as you can see, this hole is shared by the 2 jack, and same for here, same for here. So you put this right here, like that. You do the same for the other way. As you can see, it can be a little tricky, so take your time. No rush. Alright, so once you have all the jacks, you have these headers. It's go here. And the idea is putting everything on the panel here. So you need to put all the jacks and the button in the hole and the header here. Some people found it's easier to put this header not full here and try to do it like that. Do whatever you want. It can be a little tricky to do that, so take your time. Once again, it's patience. So I will do this way by putting it here. So you need to put the headers on here and all the jacks on the button on the hole. You can see here if some jacks are not aligned with the front panel. Sometimes when it's just one jack not perfectly aligned, you can take a tweezer like that and move it. Just beware to not scratch the panel because you have some trace on it. Oh, one button is not perfectly like that. Alright, check the headers, verify it's right on there. Or as you can see, the buttons are moving freely, so you can put some nuts on it and after solder all the points you have here. So, nuts. You don't have to tighten them really hard now, you can do that after, but you need to verify that the button on the jacks are in good position from the panel and you don't have any gaps. And by the way, this type of nuts is really hard to manage if you don't have the right tool, and beware because it's easy if you try to do with some tool like that to scratch the panel on a panel like that, or you have some trace, etc. You can damage it. So always use the right tool like that. Alright, so now just have a last check. Everything is aligned. The 2 buttons are moving freely, and you can see the headers is okay. So now you have to solder each one of these pads. So here for the 4 jack, here for the 2 jacks, and you have these 6 headers. It can be a little tricky because they are small, and beware with your soldering iron to not hit or desolder a small component you can find around. So we're going to start by the easy one, like this one. It's alright, temperature it's okay. These are the jacks. Once you're done with that, inspect each solder. If 1 or 2 don't look not too good, don't hesitate to re-head them. Like, I don't really like these 2 ones. Double legs are not easy. So let's just re-hit this one. Alright, so it's No, nice. So now the next things to do is solder the 6 pin you can see here of the headers. So take your time, it can be a little tricky. So one by one, which side like that. Hit them, put some solder. Going to the next. Alright, so last inspection of the pin. So now the last things you need to do is just tighten all the nuts. And once it's down, it's ready to be used. Voila. The firmware is already on it, but if you want to update it, you can just put this USB-C to a computer and drag and drop the new firmware like you do on Plinky.